Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're gonna do something very different. I have a list here of beauty related things that I have never done myself. So we're playing a little bit of a game today. Kind of a never have I ever sort of game. I'm gonna share with you guys the beauty things that I don't do. A lot of times I feel like with creating makeup videos for you guys, I put on this aura of like, I'm this very high maintenance kind of person, but behind the scenes, I'm really not like that. Most days I'm pretty chill, pretty laid back, and pretty low maintenance most of the time. Despite the fact that I love doing this and I love makeup, but I'm gonna prove that to you guys today. I think some of these will be kind of funny, will kind of shock you guys. Just some fun facts that might help you get to know me a little bit better. I think it should be fun. I'm gonna leave some of these open to you guys. If you have or have not done some of these things, let me know down in the comment section below why or why not. We better just jump into it. I feel like I'm already over explaining. Before we do though, a very special welcome to any new visitors here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure that you are subscribed and that your notifications are turned on. And with that said, let's just get to it. So beauty things that I have never done. The first one, it's probably gonna be the most shocking because as a woman that's over 40, I feel like there's very few of us out there that can say this is true. And that is that I have never had a manicure. I've never had an actual manicure at a nail salon. I have had a pedicure before. I think I've had 2 pedicures in my entire lifetime, which that in and of itself I feel like is a big thing. Most of the women I know in my life get occasional, if not regular, manicures and or pedicures. I just don't have an interest in doing it. Like if I want to spend time on just me, it's not gonna be at a spa. It's gonna be like me alone in a bathtub. And frankly, I don't even do that very much anymore. I think that's partly because as I get older, I get more busy, more involved with my kids. And those are some of the things I have just kind of abandoned. Don't have time for them. I'll just do the basics, put in a little sweat equity and do my own nails and my own toenails. Probably an even bigger reason for this is the money thing. And I think you'll see a theme here. A lot of these, one of the biggest reasons I don't do them is to try and save a little bit of money. I'm very frugal minded, which I know sounds strange as someone who owns an exorbitant amount of makeup that has a large collection of Natasha Denona eyeshadows. I definitely would not be buying that type of makeup if it wasn't for YouTube. Like I have to try out new makeup. That's part of the job here. I do love doing it and I do like some of my higher end products, but it's not like in my nature to go out and spend a lot of money on things that I don't really need. And that's kind of how I am with manicures. I just don't want to spend the money on that. I don't really want to make the time to do that. There's a lot of other things I'd rather do with my time. And I know many of you will think that's crazy. A lot of the women I'm very close to, my sisters, my friends, they love going to the salon to get their nails or their toenails done, and that's just not me. Okay, next one. This one I think is kind of funny because I actually have quite a few of these up in my bathroom and I have never broken into them, and that is a face mask. Like one of the cloth face masks, like the Korean face masks that you wear. I've never done one of those. Back when I did BoxyCharm, I got quite a few of these. I think I even got some Tatcha ones that I never opened because I was saving them for a special occasion, but then the special occasions roll around and I forget to do that extra step that is just way more time intensive than I am willing to do. I don't mind spending some time doing my makeup for a special occasion and kind of enjoying the process, but the prep for the makeup is just like, I don't want to make a day of it. That's just too much for me. Now this one I could see myself change my mind on if I did find something. Maybe I tried something and found that it just made like a huge difference in my skin, because I used to feel this way about primers. Like I thought primers are such a waste of time, and now I've come to really enjoy them. So I could see this one changing. I don't know, my schedule's so up in the air. Maybe once the kids all leave the house and I just have nothing else to do with my time and I'm looking for things to fill that time. Maybe I'm wanting to pamper myself as I get a little bit older. Maybe then, but for now, I just feel like not worth it to me. Okay, the next one I know I've mentioned before. I've never had Botox. I don't know that I have plans to get Botox either. Kind of in the middle. Like I understand why women would want to do it, and I think in moderation. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I do, however, know that it's very expensive. I have people close to me that have done it and have said once you do it, you have a hard time not doing it, and I can totally see myself getting addicted to doing Botox because once it wears off and then you see your wrinkles reappearing, I've heard people say you feel like you look like you aged 10 years overnight. That sounds kind of traumatic to me, and I just don't know that I want to be married to a needle the rest of my life. And there's just something about it that to me, like I would love to just be able to age gracefully and be okay with the wrinkles on my face and be okay with looking my age. I feel like I'm getting better at this over time. I mean, I edit my videos. I stare at my face a lot more than a normal person does. I notice those wrinkles but they don't bother me as much anymore. I just kind of see it as like, this is what like a normal 42-year-old would look like. And outside of just YouTube, I don't really care that much. I don't pay attention to other people's forehead wrinkles or smile lines. If they're happy and they're friendly, that's really all that matters. So I don't see myself doing Botox. And I also think when it comes to like I don't know if you call this plastic surgery, but even like the needle type plastic surgery stuff or the lasers. When I was a teenager, I remember watching an episode of Oprah, and there was a woman that was addicted to plastic surgery on that show. And you guys, I do have a very addictive personality. I can totally see myself turning into the lady that did not even look human anymore because she had just had so much work done because she was so unhappy with herself. I feel like if I started to chase that, there's a part of me that could see myself like going in that very dark direction. So rather, I just try to mentally prepare myself for the aging that's going to happen and just be okay with it and try to be happy. And the next one's similar to that, that's fillers. There was a time in the first few years that I started my YouTube channel. So you kind of go through this weird phase where as you're editing videos of yourself and staring at your face for hours and hours, you definitely notice, like you can't help but criticize things about yourself. And one thing that always kind of bothered me was my small lips. And when I talk, they like get smaller, which I always think is really weird, but anyways, it's fine. So for a brief moment, I thought, you know, maybe just like a tiny bit of filler in my top lip because it's so small would be helpful. I remember watching Alana on YouTube and she had done the lip filler thing and just absolutely loved it. And her lips were really plump and beautiful. And so I thought maybe that would make me a better and happier person. And then I just kind of got over it. I'm okay with my lips the way they are. And again, I can see myself becoming one of those women when they're 75 whose lips just look really strange because I just kind of overdid it with the filler. And kind of like with the Botox, I'm just coming to this place where I just don't want to chase that. Like I get kind of tired with this kind of unsaid expectation that we should all be chasing after youth forever. I just feel like it's not healthy. Plus the older I get, the more I just don't really care about things like that quite as much. So no judgment to those of you that do it. It's just not for me. Okay, the next one kind of related, and this is one that I could see myself maybe considering, and that is lasers. Now I know that they can do laser treatments for hyperpigmentation. That is the one thing about my aging skin, more so than the wrinkles, that bothers me is the hyperpigmentation because it just seems like something I can't get rid of. I don't like it. It's harder to cover. And if there was something I could do to treat it, I might possibly consider something like that. I'm not sure that I will, but it's one of the ones that I definitely have not completely decided against. I have a sister that's done lasers a few times and found it to be really helpful for her hyperpigmentation, but I know that she had to do a lot of treatments, like a couple years worth of treatments. And again, I'm just like, oh, I don't know that I want to do that. And then you have to worry so much about like, if you're just spending the money on the laser treatments, well, then you don't want to go out in the sun because then things are going to get worse. And as a mom of young kids and kids that play sports, I could not live a happy life without spending any time at all in the sun. So I just try to do the best I can, just cover with sunscreen, wear a hat, and then other than that, just try not to worry about it. I'm not perfect at this yet. It is something that still irritates me when I'm getting ready in the morning, when I'm washing my face at night, and sometimes like looking at like the areas of discoloration. I wish they'd go away, but I'm trying to get over it. We'll see. Let me know if you guys have done any sort of laser treatments for hyperpigmentation, if it worked for you. I know I've asked some of you about some recommendations for spot treatments before. I've tried a couple of them. So far, I haven't found any like miracle creams to treat it, but that said, I don't think treating it overnight is necessarily going to happen with any cream that you put on your face. I know it takes time, and as someone that does have to go out in the sun for the spring, summer, and fall, kind of seems like I'm fighting a losing battle. Okay, the next one I have never done are any sort of extensions. That includes eyelash extensions or hair extensions. This is one, I can't see myself ever doing eyelash extensions. I like my natural eyelashes. I like having the option of when I want to do something more dramatic, throwing on a pair of like half lashes, and then having days where my lashes are a little bit more natural. I see the appeal of it. If you're like a low maintenance girl and you just want your lashes done so you can just like wash your face and just leave and have lashes on all the time, that would be super nice, super easy, but I like putting my makeup on. I also have pretty good natural lashes, and so I worry that if I did eyelash extensions that it would like harm my natural lashes and kind of damage them. I don't know if that's true, and I'm sure they would grow back, so it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just not something I've really considered doing. However, the hair extensions, now I've never really wanted hair extensions. I have quite a bit of hair, it is quite long, but I recently trimmed my hair. Like it was getting really long and straggly, and I had quite a bit. Actually, I trimmed it myself. which kind of tells you a little bit more about my personality. Sometimes I just cut my own hair or dye my own hair. Because it's curly, I can kind of get away with it. Like if it's not even, nobody really cares or can see for that matter. So I'm kind of lucky in that way. But I did trim off a bunch of my dead hair recently and it made it so much healthier, but then I couldn't braid my hair. I don't know if you guys have seen my braids sometimes. I love my hair braided. I think it's super cute, but it has to be extra long. Otherwise my braid's just not long enough and it kind of looks weird. So that's kind of the phase I'm in right now. I can't really do the braid, and I wouldn't mind if they sell curly hair extensions, like throwing in a little extension so that I could braid my hair. I haven't looked into it yet, but this is something I could see myself jumping on Amazon and trying to find. Okay, I think we're on my last one. So the last thing that I have never done, and this one's kind of like the flip side of all the things I'm saying, how I'm very low maintenance. This is the one thing that makes me pretty high maintenance, and that is showing my grays. I have never let my grays grow out to where you can really see them. I'm super paranoid about it, which is so stupid. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but I haven't quite gotten to the point where I'm ready to like go gray. And I think I'm a ways. Like, I don't see myself getting to the point where I would be ready to just like let my grays go for a while, at least another decade or so. But until then, it's quite high maintenance, you guys. I have to color a couple areas of hair that have a lot of gray. I have one like right here, a patch that's almost purely white. I have a couple right here, and then I have like some random ones back here. If I was to actually let my grays grow out, especially if my hair was like really short and you were to see what areas were gray, I would have like little like circles of gray patches on my head. It's so bizarre how my hair is turning gray. Very uneven and very, very white in certain areas. So I am very vigilant about making sure that my grays are covered up by either some hair dye. If I have to, I'll use a little bit of eyeshadow just to kind of go over some of those patches to make sure they're not showing. I would probably be less particular about it if I didn't film YouTube videos, but if I am editing a video and I notice any of those hairs starting to look kind of gray, oh man, they drive me absolutely crazy. I'm kind of obsessive about it. It's really quite ridiculous, and it's getting very difficult because I have to touch up my roots probably at least every other week, which is a lot of work. So for those of you that went through the transition from coloring your hair to just going gray, I know some of you have just gone au naturel your whole lives. I have an aunt that like went gray so beautifully. She just had this like perfect salt and pepper. My hair is not like that. I have like really weird patches of white and then areas where I don't have any gray at all. It's just very uneven and bizarre. Let me know if you guys have gone through this, how you manage to like make the transition. I imagine at some point in my life I'm going to have to make that decision, and I don't know what that's gonna look like. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna go between having color in my hair to going gray, especially if I stay long for a while. It's gonna be tough, but I also feel like, man, I just can't be chained to the hair dye bottle for the rest of my life. All right, you guys, and that is it. Those are all of the beauty things that I have never done. Were you guys shocked by any of these? How many of you guys are like the opposite of me in some of these? How many of you guys totally relate to not doing the filler or the Botox or getting manicures? Maybe you feel like it's a waste of money and time. I'd love to hear down in the comments below. Again, no judgment to anyone. I know we're all different. We all value different things and enjoy different things and like spending our money on different things, which I think is great. I love that we're all different, but I would love to hear your feedback, so let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this little change of pace. Let me give you one final reminder. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure that you do that before you leave, and I will see all of you in my next video. Bye.